Okay, this is the descent into Albuquerque. Interstate 40 eastbound. At the top of the hill you have a Love's. I think it's a Mavericks. So you can see the fuel prices are still fairly high, but I think I paid $4.65 over in Reno to fuel up the truck. Currently at half a tank of fuel. Go ahead and do the descent procedure. That is the junction with Interstate 25. If you take it south, you go down to Santa Rosa. Not Santa Rosa. The town that borders El Paso, where the 25 and the 10 join on the southern route across the U.S. Speed limit in Arizona and New Mexico on I-40 is 75 miles an hour, so been able to make good time. I'm sorry, the Maverick's up ahead of us. So even in engine brake level 3, it's only decreasing speed a little bit. Speed limit changes to 65 here. You have the Flying J on the right, which is another popular truck stop. But even at 3 in the afternoon, it's already overflowing. So again, recommending locations for additional rest areas for trucks, the truck parking that several of the states have, or simply a chain-up area that could be expanded here into a big parking lot. That would be helpful for the truckers. Trip planning portion for drivers is important. Knowing the major interchanges. The Southern Tire Mart has roadside teams that will come out and change the tires on the trucks. By purchasing the 2 brand new T680 trucks and then expanding the trucking fleet, the only mechanical issue I foresee is having flat tires. If it is a high value shipment and there's a support vehicle that convoys along with the shipment, the spare tires, an air compressor for the impact wrench would allow the teams to change the tire without having a long breakdown period. Also minimizes reliance on the support team, the roadside teams that sometimes take up to 4 hours to get out to a vehicle that needs repair or correction to operate safely. Once we go across the interstate, begin the climb to the other side of the mountains, and from there it's fairly flat all the way up into Kansas, going across Kansas into Des Moines. It has some rolling hills, but not that bad. It shouldn't affect the rate of travel that much. I believe it remains 3 lanes up until the top of the pass on the other side of Albuquerque. As for a metropolitan area, it's decent. You still have the left laners and aggressive drivers in the city. Okay, it's this right lane that ends up getting choked down after the bridge. That it stays 65 all the way through. Some of the cities will actually slow the traffic down to 55 to get through the metropolitan areas. Again, the video footage can be used to describe how to get to different places, to actually play a clip of the route, key points to be aware of for foreigners that come here on vacation. Again, all of this could be processed by an AI program that runs off the data drivers are collecting while they're performing their duty, basically their work shift. For me, I'll end up somewhere in the middle of Kansas when I run out of driving time available today. I still have about 7 hours left, which puts me about an hour east of liberal Kansas. I don't know of many safe havens that I'd be able to park at along that route. It's pretty much the U.S. highways. It's just wide open for days. And during my 30-minute break, in order to use the maximum 11 hours today. Okay, so see that it is 3 lanes. You do have the exit ramps for I-25, both south and north here. If I had the camera set up at the rear of the trailer, I'd be able to have the tail cam view, see what traffic is coming up behind me. If it's another truck, it's almost as dangerous as seeing one stopping in front of you. Knowing the separation that you have determines how hard you are able to brake without causing the collision from the rear. If that happens, it's similar to the drafting out of super speedway in NASCAR. That truck behind you has more momentum, it would push the trailer out of the way. You end up jackknifing and possibly on your side, or even worse if you roll, depending on the car that you have. With the pallets of cantaloupe at only 4 foot high, if I do start to tip, it will go over. The boxes of the cantaloupe do not have tops on it. They've just been palletized at the farm that I picked up from. So knowing the shipment inside, how it is configured, should be a consideration for the algorithm, but also the driver should know what the load is and secure it himself before sealing it. A lot of these companies, you just pick up a sealed trailer, you get the manifest description of what's inside it, but you don't know what it's looked like, or what it looks like if it's loaded heavy towards the front. In this case, I'm heavy on the tandem axles. Simply because of the way that it was loaded. Again, everybody wants to get around the truck. Sorry, Santa Rosa is a town about halfway between Albuquerque and Tucumcari, which is the last stop before you hit the Texas border. So the driver's level of anticipation increases here with the heavier traffic. Albuquerque has wide enough highways, though, that you don't get the accordion effect here. And again, staying in the second lane from the right minimizes the interaction from those vehicles that are entering or exiting the interstate.